What is up, Tomboy Official? How's it going? Today I wanted to talk a bit about Spotify, just some questions, and then I want to talk a bit about Spotify for podcasters, and I want to talk a bit about platonic relationships, queer platonic relationships. That's the main topic, but I might need to do a little rant first. But just quick update. Things are, I guess, going better with my back. Maybe, I don't know. I had a pretty heavy snack day yesterday. I brought some food with me when I was delivering, and it was like fries and fish sticks, basically, which I thought would be enough, but maybe it wasn't, because when I got back to the house at like 3, I was pretty hungry, so I ate a pretty early, I guess it was technically like a supper. Then around like 10 something at night, I ate late. I had some chips, so I ate like the sausage avocado. It's like a kielbasa turkey sausage sandwich with some onions, hummus, avocado, a couple kinds of little squares of cheeses. I think it was like cheddar, Swiss, and Munster or something like that. Maybe Gouda, I don't know. I can't remember. And then I guess I had a little bit of eggs on there. Little slices of a boiled egg, like a couple little slices. And pretty, oily and fatty and proteiny. And some carbs with the bread. But I didn't have to have the cheese puffs, which I did have. And I didn't have to have that edible, which I did have. And then later on, I had some food late. I think it was probably 10 p.m. I had, I don't know what you call it. Like, I had sun chips. I wasn't going to have the sun chips. I was just going to have I have these, like, beef Wagyu, like, pieces of salami. And they're, like, really thin, like pepperoni thin. So I had like 3 pieces of those, and then a couple pieces of cheese, and then a boiled egg and some carrots and things. I had some carrots with that supper thing too, that supper sandwich too. But yeah. So I ate chips twice yesterday because I had those Cheeto cheese puffs. Yesterday was my last day of the snacking. I kept a bag kind of next to my bed, like a Ziploc bag, because, we're getting random ants all of a sudden since December, but we haven't had ants in like years, but I don't know. Whoever has been doing the fumigating is not working, or the ants have wisened up and maybe formed like some colonies under the house where people can't spray to, I guess. I don't know. But either way, they started coming in right after that. And they're mostly in the kitchen a little bit, but other than that, I did have some in my room. And so since then, I'm not really eating in here, or if I do, I don't keep anything in here, because I kind of do that. Like sometimes if I'm just like hunker down, work on something, I just keep, like, we use paper plates a lot, so like I just keep the plate in there, like on the side, like where I'm not at, and put it on the other side of my room, and like sit there till I like go take a bathroom break, or go, back to the kitchen eventually, like a few hours later, 4 hours later or so, for whatever the next meal is. So I don't always have it just like, I'm just always like ready to like throw it away, because then it kind of distracts me from what I'm doing. So like sometimes I like to just go straight into what I'm doing, instead of taking like a break like right after I eat. I just want to eat and then just do what I'm trying to do, but not anymore. Now I just take it straight and toss it, toss everything out, or put everything to clean. And so, yeah, that's changed. So I can't do that anymore. But I have this Ziploc bag that since last week, because I wanted to write it down, but I was like, I think a visual might help. So I think since Saturday, I started snacking on Saturday, because I remember I had chips or popcorn. No, I had that Saturday. So maybe it was Friday. I had cookies. I think Saturday I had popcorn, the little snack size, chip size bag of popcorn. And I was like, that's not bad. It's like once, I had like Chips Ahoy or something. I feel like I had Oreos, but maybe I haven't had them yet. And I had cheese puffs. I don't even know what's in that bag. That bag is full now. It's like a sandwich size Ziploc, and like last night I was like cramming the other two empty chip bags in there. So I'm like, it gives me a visual to show how much of snacking am I actually doing throughout the week. I think I've overdone it. So I think I'm just gonna stop there. But that's the thing. Like, I don't buy that kind of crap. It's in the house. And so, like, now that I know it's there and, like, it's just openly, like, in this box in the corner of the kitchen that just gets refilled, like, every couple weeks or so. And I'm like, dude, like, it's hard to stay away from. I'd stayed away from it for a pretty long time up until now. So I'm back at it, and I'm going to stop, because I'm like, I had pretzels yesterday. I don't really consider pretzels or maybe even popcorn in that same category. Kind of, it is, but it's not as, I don't think it's as bad. On occasion, it's not that bad. Yesterday, I had it right before I went into the x-ray, so I had the pretzels. And I don't consider that bad. It's like, I mean, they're salty. It's not like that much of like health content to it, but like obviously like fruits and vegetables are like better for you, but if you're gonna choose pretzels over like Cheetos, I would say pretzels are a better choice. The popcorn wasn't plain though, it was like cheddar flavored. And I am lactose, but I don't know why I'm eating so much cheese lately. It's just like I can kind of tolerate it when I eat it like a little bit at a time. So I've just been kind of trying to eat more cheese. Not like a whole lot, but like just a little bit here and there. Like I find it a little bit filling, and it's like, I mean, again, it's not like super good for me, but it's like it's already sliced. It's like a small little charcuterie plate from Sprouts, and it's already sliced. So I'm like, I mean, it's processed. There are healthier things I could be eating, but we have so much unhealthy stuff. Like, we have Spam, we have a bunch of processed stuff and instant stuff. So, like, when I do get hungry, I'm like, man, I need to, like, get something. But because of this back issue, I'm really not exercising like I'd love to do. I'm not exercising enough, and it's kind of scary to try to do it. So, I'm trying to take it easy a little bit. And I should take it easier on the snacking. But I told myself, yesterday I was like, tomorrow's Weed Wednesday. It's the day that I kind of do what I want to do. And so instead of having the Canvas product on Wednesday, like I was going to have it this morning, I had it yesterday around it was after I ate that supper sandwich, so probably let's call it like 4 o'clock or so p.m. So it was kind of early, and I knew it was early with that sandwich, I think I just could have done without the sun chips at the end. I kind of probably would have been all right without the sun chips. But yeah, I'm trying not to overdo it. Yesterday I overdid it. I kind of overdid it. But I think my meals were just kind of, maybe my lunch wasn't as significant as I thought it would be. I thought it would be a better, amount. Because by the time I did get home, I was hungry. And being hungry at like 3 something, it was like 3:15. And I was like, dude, I'm hungry. But, so I came home and ate. So I basically had like 2 lunches, I guess. And I'd had my lunch early. It was like 11:45 or so. I pulled over and just like ate. Because I was like, well, if the lunch rush comes at like noon, I want to be ready. Dude, they had me drive some freaking Infamil, all the way over to LAX. It's like 30 minutes away. And then it's at some hotel just off like Century, the Residence Inn. They had me drive all the way over there just before you pull into the airport. And the person was texting me in Japanese, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, so I just left it at the front desk for at least the person's name was right, but I don't know. I was like, I don't even know what to do with this. I tried to copy and paste it into what do you call the thing? Into Google Translate, but I couldn't copy paste from the Uber Eats app. And then once I left, I kind of thought, oh, I could have written a message using the Google Translate from English to Japanese to say, I can't understand your message. And I can't copy paste it into Google Translate. So I'm leaving it at the front desk. But the front desk called them and let them know. So they got it. I mean, the tip came through, so, I'm assuming they got what they needed. But I that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, I mean, it worked out. If it wasn't at a hotel, if it was at an apartment, I don't know what I would have done. So it's things like that where you're just kind of like left hanging sometimes. And it was a Vaughn's delivery. So like, I'm like, there's nobody near a Vaughn's closer than I am, like 30 minutes away from LAX. Like, I don't know. I only got like 3 orders yesterday between like 11 o'clock and like, when did I stop? Probably around like 1:45 I stopped or so. So yeah, it really wasn't I really didn't get a lot of orders. But whatever. Was I even doing it that long? Maybe it was a little bit after 11. Maybe it was like 11:15. Or maybe 11:20 or something. I don't know. Because I was getting gas and I left the house around 11 and I had to make a stop before because I needed steering fluid again. So yeah. But let me see. That's basically all. Like, the x-ray results came back after I went yesterday. The results came back in the evening that there's nothing wrong with my spine. So I'm just gonna have to wait out this pain. I'm gonna give it like 3 weeks, see if I notice any difference with taking it easy, trying to build up probably a little more core strength, trying to do the exercises they gave me and maybe some Pilates lightly, and just, try to just keep, conditioning somewhat. Because I'm definitely not conditioned, I can tell. Like, I wasn't, because I had COVID. Like, I had, like, other than the day before Comic-Con, early December, and then Comic-Con itself, from all the walking, I hadn't done any exercise all of December up until around the 23rd, 24th, where I injured my back doing the garage cleaning, and then again, I would say a little exercise January 2nd, and then a little exercise last Tuesday. I'm trying to keep track of these, which was the 9th. So about once a week, so far it looks like I'm able to get some exercise, and it takes like 5 days. So if I go at about the pace of what would be normal for me, it takes about 5 days to recover from that. From like about a Tuesday to a Saturday. Today I'm going to try to exercise. I'm going to try to just do stretches, some yoga, Pilates type stuff. I think that's all I'm going to try and do. And just keep it simple and try to just get in some basics. So, okay, let me talk about Spotify for podcasters. This freaking thing. So you guys know we've been going through the book, the 4 Agreements, right? And I've been posting like maybe 3 pages at a time, and mostly my opinions, right? And I posted the end of the book yesterday. Now, full disclosure, I have other pods, but this specific book, I was like, okay, it kind of crosses over between this one, another niche that I kind of have about like just cultural topics, another niche that I have about it's kind of about cannabis products for the most part, kind of a bit about shrooms too. And so with that book, I've been posting on all 3 accounts, right? On all 3 of those podcasts, I've been posting the 4 Agreements. Why is it that on the one queer podcast on Tomboy Official, they sent me a notice yesterday that episode of mine that I posted had gotten removed? Why was that one removed? Why was it removed from this podcast? It wasn't removed from my other podcasts. I didn't get them sending me the same notice. And so I'm a little suspicious as I get, because I'm like, well, that's not treating equal. I named it the same thing. It's the same exact copy. All I did was upload the same thing. Same title, everything. So, what's up? What do you guys think? I don't know. It says, hi there. We found out your podcast contains content that violates our content policies and have removed the following episodes. The label was 4 Agreements, end of book. That's what I labeled it. And I labeled it the same thing on all of my pods. It said you can read more about the terms and conditions on this other link. Now, I did read some from the book, but I did that in all the other episodes too. I probably read more on this episode. I just reposted it. Most of it's my opinions. It's not like the actual end of the book. It's my opinions about the end of the book. It's mostly been opinions the whole time I've been recording about it. I'll maybe take some quotes and then record. So this one I did read more. I read maybe 1 to 2 paragraphs worth. So let's see if they take this one down. Not this specific episode, but the one that I just reposted down. Because it might just be the title. But then also I put the same title on the other 2 podcasts where I posted the same thing. And it didn't come up. So they didn't email me about those. And so, or if they did, maybe it just doesn't come to this account. I don't know, but I think all my accounts are under this one. Let me see. Nope. On the cannabis account, it didn't come up. Well, I didn't post it on that one, did I? I don't know. Maybe I need to check my other ones. Maybe it did. Because it's not linked to my Let me check, because it's not linked. Oh my gosh. Alright. I have too many email accounts, but that's the only way for me to keep it organized. Nope. I don't see anything on one of these other accounts. And then no emails. And then where else did I post it? No, that's it. Wait. Okay, yeah. I have it ready for the other podcast, but I just didn't post it on there yet. So yeah. They only flagged me on Tomboy Official, so whatever. I don't think there's a consequence to it. I just uploaded it again. It's just annoying. Like, I don't like it when stuff happens when I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, it's not even across the board, so what are they just like monitoring this one? You know, just because they know there's queer content on it, or did somebody else report it? I don't really know. I may never know the answer to that, but something's up. Something's up when you post the same thing on other places and it only gets flagged on one, but not on anything else. That to me is a little bit suspicious, but let's see. Let's see if they take this other one down. But anyways, I wanted to talk about, now that we've been 20 minutes into this, I've already had my coffee. If you guys are interested in my coffees, I don't have my own brand or anything, but the coffee I'm drinking that I already drank, because like I said, I'm trying not to leave stuff in my room, and I do use a little bit of a coffee creamer in this one, like one of those little instant, really sugary ones, because we're drinking the rest of this instant coffee right now, and it's disgusting, but it's effective. So I'm like, let me not spend money on another coffee yet and finish out this one. It's disgusting, but it's the Folgers one with the instant crystals. I'm just like, whatever, just drown out the flavor. I'm there for the caffeine. So I put in a little coconut oil, a little bit of butter, melt that a little bit in the microwave. I've just been putting hot water from the sink. I haven't even been like boiling water. It's just I run the water for a while and then I just put it from the sink, and that is enough to stir in the crystals. I don't really need to brew it because it's instant, so I'm just like, whatever, just quick and dirty. And stir in the coffee, stir in the butter, the oil. I've got this VitaCup shroom mix. It's got chaga, it's got lion's mane, it's got some B vitamins, it's got cacao, and I mixed that in with it too. So I got a nice little interesting coffee, even though the coffee is crap quality of coffee. It's like, whatever, it tastes decent with all that in it. I think it has cinnamon too. But yeah, I put those little half cups that you can get at like 7-Eleven, those little cups that usually, when I'm not being too good with things, I'll pour in like 2 or 3 of them just for the flavor. And I do like my coffee black, but sometimes when the coffee is disgusting, I drown it out with creamer. So that coffee is gross, and I drown it out with creamer if I'm going to make it stronger. And I definitely made it stronger this morning. I want to get exercise today, and I know I'm on limited sleep. I stayed up late last night watching Sopranos and just staying up late, but because I ate that food late, and so I was like, let me stay up an extra hour. So I was up till like midnight, woke up at about 6, and I could feel, I was like, it's got to be morning because I feel like awake, but it was dark out. I didn't get up till like maybe 6:30, so I'm cool with it. I want to clean a little bit today, get a little bit of exercise in me today. Maybe go to the beach, but if not, just stay in. I was thinking about going to the beach and or library, but then I feel like it's not going to feel like a day off, but maybe I'll see, because I might feel better getting out of the house a little bit. versus staying in the house. I'll see. If I start feeling a little restless, I'll just go down the street in either direction. The beach is one direction, the library is the other direction. And maybe just pick up a book or two. I've got Libby loaded on my phone, but my Amazon accounts, I don't know if the Amazon account for my Kindle is working or if it's linking. I tried it before or during the weekend and I couldn't really get it, so I'm gonna try it again today probably. But I had rented a book on there. I don't really know. I've got no idea. Most of the stuff I looked up they didn't have anyways, for like audiobooks anyways, or other books, and so I don't really know. But I might try to get it working, see if I can get it working. But let's talk about this fun. I find these fun. So there's an Instagram model. I think there are a couple. So Sakina Garcia and Jordan Alexander from Gossip Girl. But Sakina Garcia is a like a queer model, and so their pronouns are they, them, it. I don't know. Do people seriously have the pronoun of it, or is it like a joke? I wasn't sure about that. If it was like a funny, like made to be funny, or if it was like legit, like actually. I really don't know. I'm asking the question. I'm not sure at all about that. But yeah, like I've been following their content for a long time, and it's good to see them kind of coming up. I know they had a commercial, one of the Starbucks commercials they were in, and they were in a magazine article a while ago that I thought was interesting because they had it was a long time ago, maybe like a year. It was before the Starbucks ad, and they had a pretty cool what do you call it? Like, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Their magazine article, someone was kind of asking them about like gender when it comes to like modeling, I guess. And they were kind of just saying like it doesn't really make a difference. But I like a lot of the styles that I see with the clothing, and it's like there's a lot of feminine, a lot of masculine. It just depends on the day or on the post, I guess, sometimes. But they've been posting for the last few days at least some little relationship clips that I found to be very, very adorable and entertaining. Some of them were flirty, like not flirty, but a little flirty. It was kind of like, they're cute though. I was like, this is some cute content. I like it. And Jordan Alexander goes by the Jordan Alexander on Instagram, and they create a lot of content together. I'm not sure like if they're a couple. I kind of got that impression way back when they started posting, because there was some content way back in the day that I was like, whoa, like what's going on? It was very like couple-ish, but I don't know if it's still on there. I don't even know if I can say the words I mean, Spotify doesn't usually like ban me for stuff, but I specifically remember one where there were like dildos in the post. I remember that because I was like, okay, cool, um, but I don't remember the purpose. I don't remember anything else about it. And they have a kind of like a band, a music group together where they make songs. It's like kind of like electro pop sounding stuff. It's they have a link tree, I think. So Jordan Alexander and Sakina Garcia. I don't know if I'm getting the accent right on the name. I've never heard that name Sakina before. How do I get to your page? What is this? What am I clicking? Okay. So its link tree is MND3GMA. So it's like, I thought it said mind game before, but I think it's like MN dogma, like dogma, like beliefs. And yeah. And let's see if there's more. Yeah, so they have at MND3GMA, and then they have at Sutherland Model. So those are the two places, and then you can email brandon.hall@sutherlandmodels.com. So yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying their content, but they posted one today. I don't think it was meant to be controversial. I just thought it was an interesting topic. I'm not gonna make some weird controversy out of it because I don't think that was the purpose. But basically, Sakina Garcia posted this. It said, you know, when you've agreed that it's a platonic relationship, and then the messages that are coming in are like paragraphs long, you know, and kind of like, what do you do? It's like a question, you know. And, you know, I was reading the comments because I always think the comments are interesting. I like to see people's perspectives. One person was like, I just ghost, like, once it gets to that point. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting that somebody would say that. And then, you know, somebody else said, you know, if you're dating, it's not platonic. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about like queer platonic relationships, because they're not, people don't talk about it a lot, but they're not uncommon, but there can be a lot of blurred lines. Like, I'm not saying you're like going out on dates and stuff, but it's like, I definitely have a different connection with my queer friends than I do with my straight ones. Like, I feel like I don't know, like the physical boundaries are probably the same for the most part, I would say, but for me on my end, but I would say I don't know, like, I don't really talk to my straight friends the way I talk to my queer friends, you know. There's not like, you know, this kind of understanding and like connection that's there, that's like too deep with most of my straight friends. I'm trying to think about it as I talk. Not really. There really isn't that, but I don't know. It's something to think about. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I do think that, you know, my opinion of it all is, if it's not a bad thing, why not just roll with it, you know? If something starts getting to you, or you don't like that, or if it seems like you might want to clarify if somebody's maybe thinking that things are not platonic anymore. Like if somebody's, for example, I don't even know if I have a good example. I don't think I have any examples from my life, but like if somebody thinks you're dating when you said you're not, just because they act like you're dating doesn't mean that they think that you're dating. Like, I feel like sometimes people can treat relationships, platonic relationships, as if you're kind of a couple when the label is not a couple. And I think sometimes with you know, queer relationships, queer platonic relationships, that can get a little blurred because you're kind of in each other's spaces in a different way than straight people are in each other's spaces. Like, I mean, it's not even like a sexual thing, but like, you might be sharing bathrooms, you might be sharing locker rooms, you might be, you know, sharing places that the other people can't go to. You might be going to gay clubs, bars, events, having experiences together that your straight friends aren't there to like witness or understand, or just walking around together, or just living life and talking about your experiences and kind of each other understanding it and being able to kind of like, you know, understand each other's perspectives. And yeah, you might be, you know, in a situation like that where you're able to kind of understand someone's perspective more, or you talk about things more, or you have more of an intimacy on an emotional level. It might even be on a physical level too. It might be just a little bit of blurred lines. Like I've definitely experienced that a lot, where it's like we say we're not dating, but everything that we do in the friendship that's platonic is not things that we are doing in other friendships. It's like it's kind of bumped up a couple levels of closeness and understanding and sharing and intimacy and levels of trust and just different things, like a list of different things. And I think it's fine. I just think if both parties are saying it's platonic, even if in action it's not platonic, I think it's still platonic. You know, it's confusing when the actions don't match up, though. But I that's my opinion. I think it gets a little, I'm not saying people are like lying, but it's like you can have platonic relationships that don't follow the rules. That don't follow the rules of what platonic relationships look like, you know? I mean, people have friends with benefits. I mean, what's that? It's like you're not really dating, but you might be hooking up with somebody. I mean, maybe it's not platonic, maybe it is. Like, who am I to say? Like, if people define it as platonic, even if it doesn't look like platonic, you know, I think it doesn't matter. I think where it does start to possibly matter is when one person is maybe interested more than having just that platonic relationship. If they want things to move to another level, if they don't say anything about it, and then they start getting like upset that maybe the other party is like either dating people or, you know, getting in relationships with people or doing other things, hooking up with other people or whatever they might be doing. And then for the initial person to be like, well, I don't want you to do that, or like whatever, it's kind of like, okay, like it kind of, I think once the rules start changing where it's like we kind of have all these rules in this friendship, it's like you got to kind of question, is it really platonic anymore? If somebody's telling you who you can and can't date, I mean, friends aren't really gonna do that, but just because you're talking or texting or touching or whatever you're doing doesn't necessarily make it not platonic, I wouldn't think. I mean, it really is how people define it, and I think one thing is that people aren't oftentimes willing to have conversations about things because it's not easy, but it's like it helps to talk about what's happening. Like, people don't want to talk about it. Like the person who said, oh, they would just rather ghost. It's like when somebody says, oh, we're going to be platonic. Yeah, we're going to be platonic. And then they start sending longer messages and seeming a little more like they want to be a little more involved. And then that person's response is, well, I just ghost them. Well, why don't they just have a conversation and say, like, you know, like, for me, this is platonic, meaning what that means to me is that I don't really want to spend time texting, you know? Like, if you don't want to spend time texting people, not everybody's going to know that, you know? I'm one of those people who will never get the clue unless somebody tells me, don't text me. Then I'll be like, oh, they said don't text them. It's like, I'll see you in person. Cool. You know, we don't have to talk in between. Like, that's fine. Like, if you let me know, then I know. But I'd say most of my platonic relationships, I text them. Like, it's normal for me. Like, I like to write. That's what I do. Like, I try not to overdo it, but I know sometimes I do, but I try to keep it simple. So I'm trying not to, like, do it too much. Like, I try to do, like, maybe a few a day, like, batches, like, in batches. Like, as, like, if there's, like, one day where I'm texting more heavily, I try not to do it more than, like, one day, you know? Not more than one day a week, hopefully, but it really is the caffeine for me. Like, when I'm kind of wired, you know, I don't really notice how much I'm actually, like, writing. I'm just writing, because that's what I do. I write, and it's easy for me to write. I don't have a hard time writing. It's actually easier for me to write things. I think faster writing than I do when I'm actually talking. I just can't type as fast as I talk, but just like the thought process is easy for me. That's easy for me. So, I don't know, but I don't know. It depends. Because some people would be like, oh, this is something that is reserved for somebody I'm dating only. And, like, if that's the case, I mean, why not have a conversation and say, you know, I reserve longer texting for people I'm actually dating, and we're not actually dating, so, you know, I don't want to talk. Or, like, I mean, I've had people assume that I was, like, into them because I was texting them. And it's like, I think it is a thing. Like, I didn't know that, but I've had somebody tell me, like, oh, like, I'm with somebody, and I'm just kind of like, oh, they, like, assume because I'm, like, responding to them and with detail that I'm like interested. It's like, no, I'm not interested. I like to respond. If I'm free, like I don't sit in front of the TV all day or anything. So usually it's like I'm in my room, lights are usually dim or not, but usually I have like a dim light on if the light's on, or my window's open for the natural light. I'm usually just like laying there or sitting at my desk and just chilling in my room with maybe some music in the background, maybe, or nothing in the background. So if somebody texts me, I'm literally just sitting there. Like if I'm not actively working on something, I'm literally just sitting there. If I haven't been writing and picked up my phone, or working on something and picked up my phone, I'm not editing anything, I'm not in the middle of some kind of like important thing that I'm like working on, if I'm taking a break from that or done for the day, I'm literally just sitting there. If I'm not at the gym, which I haven't been in a really long time, or I'm not like driving around, if I'm home and I have multiple hours of my days where I sit in my room by myself, really not doing much of anything. I'm not even really scrolling online too much. I'll spend a little time on Instagram scrolling. Maybe I'll watch a YouTube video, and I'll usually when I'm watching YouTube, if it's not for study purposes, for like different topics and things and learning about different things like that, I'll usually be just watching like random stuff, and then that's when I'm checking my texts. So it's like I'm literally just vegging out watching some random YouTube thing, so to me it's like, you're not bothering me texting me. If I don't want to text back, I won't text back. I assume other people are that way too. If they don't want to text back, then don't text back. Some people don't like writing, some people don't like reading, some people don't like texting. But the thing is, I think with texting is most people don't have a conversation about it. They don't tell you. So, and people get a little confusing. Like I've had people say, oh, don't text, just leave me voicemails only or something. And so I do. And then, they start texting me. And then it's like, well, do I text back? Because sometimes I don't want to leave an audio message. It's inconvenient for me because I'm somewhere. I might be out somewhere, And so when it's inconvenient to me, I don't really do it, And if they text me and they keep texting me, then I'm like, well, you said don't text you, so what? So I'll respond by text. But it's like, I don't expect people to read it. I don't care if they read it. I'm just like, whatever, here it is. If you care what's on my mind or whatever it is that I'm responding to, then read it. If you don't care, if you want to change the topic, whatever. Like, texting is the weirdest kind of conversation. There aren't that many rules to it. I just try to be respectful of other people. If I know you're busy, I will usually just leave it. Some people, it's like, I know they're busy, but it's like they don't seem that busy. Or if it's just like, here's something just in the background for reference for later. But other than that, I don't, like, I like to write. So I'm one of those people who's going to be texting. If people don't tell me not to, or if they don't tell me that they don't want me to do it, and that combination of the caffeine, if you ask me something that for me requires a response, it's like, why would I not respond when I'm not busy? Why would I not? Like, literally, there are times where I go down the street and I might be podcasting. Maybe I just want to get out of the house. Like, it's going to rain this weekend. And if I have the car this weekend, I might just get out of the house and go chill down the street somewhere, sit in the car, be outside, but in the car. I do that a lot. Like, it's weird, but whatever. I like it, And if I'm just sitting there in the car, it's just me and my phone, I might text some people. I don't see anything wrong with it, but like, I really don't get offended or expect people to like text me back or require people to be engaged in these like lengthy discussions or whatever by phone or by text or whatever. Like, if you don't want to read it, don't read it. If you don't want to respond, don't respond. If you don't want to text me, don't text me. I don't really care. Like, it's not really gonna ruin my day. I know everybody has a different opinion and relationship with texting, and some people absolutely hate it, and so it's not very clear. But some people just do write a lot, and to me it's more like out of respect. It's like, if I respect you and you actually are spending time to try to communicate with me, I'm going to try to answer you with more than just like nothing. I will give you my time and energy if I feel like it's worth it. That's kind of my mindset behind it. I'm not like that equally with everybody. Some people I'm like that, and then most people I'm not. Most people I will not respond to them at all, And so some people I do, though. Some people I actually, when I'm responding, I'm literally sitting there and just taking time to respond to them, especially if they ask me something that I know something about. I'm going to take the time to respond. And so, I mean, that's me. That's how I do things. So many people hate texting. I don't really mind if people hate texting. I try not to annoy people with it. I'm probably a heavier texter than most people are towards, like, compared to other people that probably text them. But, I'm not trying to do it for any kind of, like, control reason or anything. It's just more like, when I have time and I'm sitting here and I'm not doing anything else, I will take the time to respond back to people. I'll put effort into it. And it doesn't matter if I see you once a month or once a year or whatever. Like, I will put time into it. But, I think most people expect that you're not going to put time and energy into it. Most people don't want to put time and energy into it, and that's okay. Most people are, that's another thing. A lot of people are up on social media posting a lot of stuff and thinking about, like, their pictures and editing pictures and posting actual things. I do not post on social media. Like, other than podcasting, I don't post anywhere else. Like, I try to post once or twice a year on Instagram. That isn't even working. Like, I try to force myself to do it. I try and post once a year on Facebook. And unless it's business related stuff, I'm not posting anywhere. So, like, I don't know. Like, I might go back to posting to promote the pods and stuff like that. But that is kind of more like project related stuff. Like, I don't really post my personal life. Like, I'll talk about it on podcasts, but I don't, like, when I go out, I don't take pictures to post them on Instagram. I almost never do that. I post snowboarding if I can ever make it up, and I post sometimes if I go to, like, some kind of EDM related music festival. I'll post maybe a couple snaps there, but I really don't post any other type of content. I don't post food content. I don't post any content anymore. Like, the only thing I do is write individually to people who write to me, texting. That's the only thing that I really respond to or interact with. Like, I'm not on Twitter hardly at all. I don't like it. I don't like most social media in the first place. So, it's something I'm even actively this year trying to get more and more away from. Like, I'll check my Instagram, I'll check, I do have a TikTok account, but I don't use it for anything unless I'm using it for TikTok shop or for, like, promoting other content. If it's not for the podcast or my website. I'm probably not going to be on there. I have like zero desire to be on there. It's just not my thing, you know? And so I get it. You know, other people are so like, their energy and their focus is kind of like spread thin throughout other platforms. You know, my focus is mostly between texting and podcasting and then writing, like blogging. That's just about it. Those three things. And so, you know, I'm not spread between like 5-6 platforms, 4 or 5 platforms like most people. I'm spread between 3, and they all, the other two, like podcasting and the blogging, those are longer form content. I don't mean for texting to be long form. It just so happens to be. But I am trying to dial that back too. It's just when I'm caffeinated, I really don't notice the difference. So depending what time of day you get me, usually if it's anytime between like 6 and 10 a.m., if I'm responding to somebody's messages or messaging them, it's probably going to be, it's probably going to be pretty lengthy. I try not to, though. I try not to do it too much. But yeah, like, it's just some people, I don't talk on the phone to them. You know, I don't see them that much. The only way of really communicating with them is by texting. So, like, I just assume if people don't want to text, that's fine. Or if I don't hear back from them for a while, then it's like they are not in the mood to text back, and then I just leave it. Like, if they don't text back, or I usually take the thumbs up response as like, okay, I see what you said, but I'll be over here for now. I'm done for now, kind of thing, and that's cool, you know. And I'll just wait. If they want to respond weeks later, months later, that's cool. If not, that's cool. Like for me, other than actually making active like plans with people, I don't really expect to hear back. That's the only time I expect to hear back. If it's like I'm literally coming to your house to pick you up, or literally meeting you at a place, and then once I get where I'm going, trying to find you and either texting or calling at that point to try to like actually find each other, that's the only time that I'm like gonna assume that's the only time I'm gonna assume that. So yeah, I mean, things could be a little smoother, easier, with some situations. I really only had one person, though. Well, a household of people that I had to cut off. And we've talked about this. It was for my own good. And it took me really long to do that. But that was not healthy to have them so they could call or text me at all. You know, so, and I don't think I'd even call those like platonic relationships. One of them I would say was a friend that I cut ties with over texting because they wanted me to, you know, specifically respond to their texts in a certain way, which I was like, sorry, no, that's too much for me. And I basically just said, you know, you need more from me than what I'm wanting to do. It's like, I don't want to read your long novel messages and then comfort you about it if I don't have the time or energy to do it. I'm just not in the mood. And so I just left it alone. I'm like, if you can't understand that I don't want to read all your negative life stories after I've told you I don't want to, I don't know what else to do from there. But, you know, it was more of like a boundary thing, and we didn't see eye to eye on it. I don't hate them. It's just, you know, we don't need to talk anymore, I don't think. But that's all for now.